Good morning. I am Brian Downs. This is A Republic, if you can keep it. It is November 4th, 2025. I'm coming to you from Orlando, Florida, just about 6:40 in the morning. Let's talk about Changpeng Zhao and sorting out corruption from dementia. One of the great questions with the many times convicted felon, con artist, sex criminal, Donald Trump, has always been trying to determine how many of his own lies he believed. It's a question that has fascinated me for the many hideous years of his public performances. Does it matter? Does it in the end matter if he believes his own perfidy? Maybe not. In any case, at this late date, it is obvious that more and more of Trump's absurdities are produced by mental illness, dementia, neurological dysfunction. Changpeng Zhao is a man who made himself very, very rich in the crypto space, and then, having, by the way, helped to vanquish his most successful rival, Sam Bankman-Fried, by outmaneuvering him in the business. Also, the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried was a fraud from the ground up added to Mr. Fried's difficulties. And Sam Bankman-Fried is now in prison where he belongs. In any case, Changpeng Zhao, sort of the last man standing in the crypto space, and the chief personality at Binance, the biggest crypto trader. Well, it seems almost inevitably, Mr. Zhao found himself pleading guilty to money laundering charges. Now, what is money laundering? Let's make sure we all understand that. Suppose that I, Brian Downs, went and made $200,000 selling addictive poisons to children and helpless addicts, heroin, cocaine, fentanyl. Well, no, I've got a problem. I got 200 grand. I can't just go throw that in the bank, because the bank's going to go, where the heck did Brian get $200,000 in cash? You know, maybe we should loop the FBI in on this, right? Maybe the DEA, right? So now I've got this 200 grand. It's dirty because it was made illegally. I need to wash it. I need to launder it. I need to find someplace, somehow, to make it look like it came from a legitimate source. If you happen to be a drug cartel or a drug dealer at the low level, or a drug cartel at the high level, if you happen to be Hamas, if you happen to be any evil bastard who has a lot of money at their disposal, you need to wash it, you need to launder it. And Binance was providing these services. It wasn't an accident. He pled guilty to money laundering. So Changpeng Zhao was growing wealthy. Some fraction of his vast wealth was produced by being banker and launderer to the worst people in the world. Dealers in poisons and death. He pled guilty. He was fined $50 million. Which is money he finds under the couch cushions. He was sentenced to 4 months in jail. He was pardoned by President Trump. In a recent public interview, President Trump was asked, does it not worry you that your pardon of Changpeng Zhao looks like corruption? Because, in fact, your family, President Trump, your family is deeply involved in a very profitable crypto venture, and your family's businesses have done business with Mr. Zhao in very profitable ways. To which Donald Trump says, and I don't have the transcript in front of me, something like, I don't know who Changpeng Zhao is. I don't know anything about crypto. I know it's a very big industry. And I'd heard that the case against Zhao was a Biden witch hunt. Everything's a witch hunt, of course. A team of investigators, law enforcement officials, investigators, cops, gather the evidence. They bring the evidence in front of a grand jury. The grand jury says, looks like a crime to me. Then they go in front of a judge. Zhao himself decides to plead guilty. Now, typically you plead guilty in the hopes of getting a lesser sentence for your crimes, instead of making everybody go through a trial to prove that you are what you obviously are, which is guilty. Zhao himself decided to plead guilty, but Trump says, well, I heard that it was a Biden witch hunt, because, of course, Donald Trump's mission in life is to undo absolutely everything Joe Biden or Barack Obama did as president, including the lunch orders. And so, I don't know who Changpeng Zhao is. The interviewer says, well, you pardoned him, Mr. President, but that doesn't ring any bells. So we have two options here. One, Donald Trump is simply a greater and greater liar. He is lying. He knows what he did, and now he's saying that he didn't know what he did. Although the pardon happened in full public view as an official act of the President of the United States, and now he's got a camera pointed at him by a major journalistic institution saying, well, what about this? And he says, I don't know anything about that. So either he's just telling the most absurd lie he's told today, or he's telling the truth. He doesn't know what he did or why he did it. He kept returning to the point that crypto is a very big industry. He kept returning to the point that my sons are involved in it. His sons are making money in the crypto space, and by the way, hand in hand with Zhao. Okay, so is this how we're doing it? The manufacture of refrigerators and dishwashing machines is a big industry. Does that mean that anyone who's involved in that industry who happens to be convicted of serious felonies ought to be pardoned by the president? Home loans are a huge industry. Does that mean that anyone in the home loan industry who commits several serious felonies ought to get a pardon because they happen to be involved in a big industry? It's nonsensical. So it seems quite likely that probably Trump's sons came to him and said, Dad, could you pardon Zhao? He's really a good guy. Because they're stuffing their pockets, doing business with the money launderer, the known money launderer, the confessed money launderer. And Trump said, well, sure. We find ourselves in a situation where either the President of the United States has no idea what the hell he's doing from 1 hour to the next and why, or is simply lying about it in the most ludicrously bald-faced way possible. Those are our choices here in the benighted year of our Lord 2025. One of the most enduring legacies of the Trump cabal will be the fact that they have killed satire. How can you satirize these people? You couldn't do the television show, terrific show, by the way, very sharply written, Veep, today, with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and other many talented people. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You can't satirize these people. You can't create a heightened level of absurdity. There is no. You can't do that. You would need to forge it in the Hadron Collider to get to that level of absurdity. We would need to invent whole new devices and schools of science to design a level of absurdity like this. This is something that's going to baffle my thinking for at least the rest of the day.